besties, welcome to Crime and Coffee. My name is Aisha Noor, and here I talk about true crime cases. And while getting ready, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, click that bell icon down below. Tell a friend to tell a friend, support a sister. So without any further ado, let's jump into the video. So today we are talking about a case here in Kenya about the last case was about a case in Zambia of a police officer who terrorized, the country. Well, funny enough, today's story is about a guy, a guy who disguised himself as a police officer just here in Kenya. And yeah, so what's wrong with it? I don't know. I came across a lot of these cases and I was like, okay. But I'm really usually intrigued with like Kenyan stories. Like my country stories, because when I was growing up, I didn't think, or like even before I started researching, I really did not think such things actually were happening. But yeah, they're actually happening. There are people out there who, they are not good people, if I just say so. His name was Daniel Cheruiyot Kiptum, and he went by the alias Frank. So this guy, he was known to be a very soft-spoken guy. Anyone who knew Cheruiyot will just tell you right away. Cheruiyot. Cheruiyot. I'm sorry for butchering that. Cheruiyot. We'll tell you that Cheruiyot is a very soft-spoken, well-mannered type of a person. He really kept to himself. He was actually known to be a very secretive kind of a guy, and he actually used this character as a tool of manipulation, because not a lot of people knew who he was or his character. If you're an open book, people kind of know you and know what to expect, and something like that. And this is the first video I've forgotten a disclaimer. So yeah, the following presentation contains graphic, detailed description of the crime scenes, mentions of sexual assault, and strong language. Viewer discretion is highly advised. So this Cheruiyot guy, that was his character, and he used this character, like I mentioned earlier, as to his advantage, because this is how he managed to manipulate police all over. Because let me just tell you, right on what he did. He pretended to be a police officer, and for some reason, police ended up believing him that he was a police. How? It's like me with no medical experience walking into a hospital and saying, you guys, I'm a doctor. I'm a great doctor. And guess what? I'm actually really good at it. And then they'll be like, okay, come on, you're hired. And that's what happened. I mean, so let's get to know a little bit, just a tiny bit, a pinch of his background, because there's really not a lot there. Just that he brought up in Uasin Gishu, and he went to a primary school called Tapsagowi Primary School. He studied there until standard 7, and his family moved all the way to Kitale. And when he sorry, but then today's video is not a long one. It's chap kind of a video, get to the point kind of a video. So yeah, so he moved back to Eldoret by himself, and this was where he manipulated police and made police believe that he was one of them. And he entered the police and served there for a bit. And by the way, his alias is Frank, like I mentioned earlier. So the police gave him a job, and this was when he decided, you know what, wrong move, police, wrong move. I am going to start terrorizing people, and that is exactly what he did. He started terrorizing citizens, and the first thing this guy did was to familiarize himself with criminals around, Eldoret, and become their friend. And he used to give them inside information, because apparently he was a police officer, just like I am a medic. I mean, if this guy is a police officer, then I am definitely a doctor, because How? So this is what this guy did and started doing. He started loaning these criminals, these goons, his rifle, which he shouldn't have had in the first place. But oh well, it happened. And he also started, like I said, he giving them information about police's plans and whatnot. And then afterwards, soon afterwards, police realized that he was, handing out his gun to goons and stuff. So obviously, I mean, it was not so long before they would realize. What was he expecting? What were you expecting, sir? Wherever you are, I know you're not alive, but come on. So when he realized that police really did, catch on to him, he fled all the way to Nairobi. He came to the big city to start committing continuing with his life of crime. And here he became more ruthless. Hey, I don't know, it's like a switch went off, inside him, because he became more ruthless. And in Nairobi, it was where he started his killings. It was where he actually started committing murders. In Eldoret, he was just like, trying to familiarize himself and getting to know the system and the criminal system and how it works, and him getting comfortable as a quote unquote police officer, just like I'm a medic. Okay, I'll stop saying that, but I just don't understand how these guys, like, because I believe the police are very smart, like the force is very smart, but a whole division could not really figure out that this guy did not even go for training, because he didn't. Hey, let me tell you, he didn't go for any training, and he walked in that station and he convinced them that he's one of them, and they gave him a job. Like, how I just fail to understand. Anyway, so like I said, in Nairobi was where he started his killings and his major crimes. He became ruthless. He became known as, he wanted to become one of the big boys. I just had to. Anyway, he became, a bad boy. And at this time, after police, like, he had run away from, like, Eldoret and whatnot. So police, this is what they did. They put a bounty on his head, 100,000 Kenya shillings on his head for anyone to get him. That was the reward if you ever got Frank. Or yeah, I'm just going to call him Frank because I'm going to butcher his second name. So yeah, the 100K was, put out there for anybody who ever seen him. And you would think that this will stop this guy. But let me tell you no, it didn't stop this guy. So let me just do my eyebrows real quick, and I'll be right back in a snap. So I'm back with the brows. Let's continue with this story that really fascinates me. The CID and the FBI not FBI, the Air Force got information about Cheriot, and they got a picture of his face because, he was also robbing banks despite of committing heinous murders, killing police, unaliving police. So they got that, and now they were looking for him. Now the CID and the Air Force had, like, taken this case into their hands, and when it reaches there, like, what? Okay, but so that's what happened. And on January 27th, 2005, at 4 a.m., the flying squad got a tip that this guy Cheriot I'm so sorry. Cheriot was he was with his friend. His name was Peter. His Cheriot's friend. I'm just going to call him Frank. His name was Peter. So they got a tip that they were, cruising around town committing crimes. It was just a normal, like, usual day, like any other day. So when they parted ways, Frank went back to his place at Zimmerman, and his friend Peter went back to his place at Woodley. They parted, like, the 50 went and followed this guy Frank at his place at Zimmerman, and the rest went to follow this other guy at Woodley at his place. And then with Peter, they surrounded his house. Everybody was like, they all like came together and they like, we are going to do this, let's do this, let's get this over with. So they actually managed to capture him. Not necessarily capture him, they exchanged like a gun, there was a fire exchange, and he ended up, this guy Peter, he ended up like getting shot by police, and police retrieved 5 guns, 91 bullets, knives, fake car number plates, and 3 like bulletproof jackets. Like, whoa. So I just decided to finish everything, because I think this is going to be the shortest video to date. The story is really not long or detailed or anything of that sort. So yeah, let's just finish into it, because we are in the last part. So like I say, like, police found 5 guns, 91 bullets, fake car number plates, knives, and 3 bulletproof jackets at Peter's house. Peter, as I said earlier, was Frank's friend, Chariot's friend. And then on the other hand, the next day at around 9 a.m., they went to Zimmerman and Chariot's house. Over 50 policemen, the CIDs and the Air Force, were surrounding his, little homestead over there. So he really had no chance for escape. They were at the front of his house. Other police were at the back. Like, I saw that video. It was intense, I tell you. Like, whoa. This, like, when you watch a movie and you're like, oh my God. And then there was like a fire exchange, and the police they kept on shouting like, Tucker, get out. And then like he wouldn't say anything. It was like, oh my God, for like hours. Police and this guy, they were like playing a tug of war for hours and hours. And then at last he was kind of anxious, but he told police that, I am ready to like surrender, but he was a bit anxious. And then him being anxious, I think he kind of like was like, I'm not going to sitatoka saizi. I'm just going to like chill for a bit. I'm not going to get out now. And police were like running, like the patience was running low. And obviously, like, there were onlookers out there, like the neighbors and the surroundings, the people who lived around. So it was like commotion was starting to get, it started to get very like, hectic. And one police gave one officer, who was a really sharpshooter and very skilled, the task to go into his house and hunt him down. So he did as his bosses told him. He went inside, and they were like playing Tom and Jerry. I don't know why I keep on saying everything like Tom and Jerry, but yeah, they were playing like a game of like, cat and mouse. And at last, that skilled officer gunned down Frank, and unfortunately, no, I'm not going to say that. He didn't die just yet, but he was shot on the head, but he didn't die. But after a few hours of excessive bleeding, he passed away. And yeah, that was right about it. And do you know the funniest thing is, the irony in this story, the gun that was used to bring this guy down was the same gun he loved to kill police with. I mean, like, sometimes really life laughs at you. Karma be like, because I never saw that. But I never saw that coming. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, so that is today's story. It is very brief and very like, kind of like short, but yeah, next time we are also going to be, it's going to be also, I think I'm going to keep it Kenyan for a bit. I don't know, I'm usually like really intrigued when it comes to like Kenyan stories. I'm like, oh, wow, this is happening. Anyway, so yeah, this is my makeup look. It's very cute. I oh my God, like, I'm looking at myself here, I'm like, okay, I look cute. I look like a small girl. I'm a big girl though, but I look like a small guy. It's very cute, very simple, but very cute. And that's exactly what I was going for here. Yeah. And shout out to everybody who is tuning into my channel. Thank you for the support that you guys are giving me, and I love doing what I do. Yeah, so see you next time, and please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and click that bell icon down below, so every time I post, you can get notified. And also, please tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to support a sister here. Yeah, so see you next time, and bye.